Damn, I'm late with this one. Might as well talk about Jeff Hardy winning the WWE Championship, CM Punk cutting a pipe bomb, all the latest WWE news. Well, I do apologize, I had to work on Greatness of Wrestling about CM Punk, which was actually a very big success. Gotta jump on that CM Punk views train. But I did watch SmackDown, it was a great show, and if you have any doubts that SmackDown is the greatest wrestling show at the moment, dude, this show is basically made for me. Roman Reigns talked about a missionary position on SmackDown. Roman Reigns. This show was made for me. The tribal missionary chief. But I do feel sorry, I feel guilty for not giving you that SmackDown review on time, so I gotta make it up. So basically, if you click like on this video, you'll get up to 1.6 inches on your dingly dongly, on your bazinga, 1.6 inches on your coco jumbo, 1.6 inches on your sausage. Is that fair? Feeling good? Okay, let's continue. Welcome everybody to a brand new episode of Greatness of SmackDown. So, as always, a great show. And, we're not getting John Cena versus Roman Reigns. Yes. Said no one ever. Yes, they're teasing Finn Bálor versus Roman Reigns, but we all know it's not really happening at Summerslam. So, it's actually quite cool because right now we got, some questions. We got some entertainment until SummerSlam, so maybe that's why John Cena is going to be on Monday Night Raw, whether just winning matches, trying to earn the opportunity, or just calling Roman Reigns out every chance he gets, until, he gets the match. Now, the thing is, we might not even get Roman Reigns versus Finn Bálor, we might get John Cena versus Finn Bálor, #1 contenders match, and that's, how John Cena is going to get the opportunity to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. So we don't know yet, but I do appreciate that WWE took a different approach, and Roman Reigns does have his reasons. John Cena is all about that missionary. That's boring. That's not how Roman Reigns works. Roman Reigns is the big dog, so it's all doggy. It's all doggy with Roman Reigns. The biggest issue with making a review late is basically that I'm having a brain fog right now. I don't remember a lot, so it's gonna be difficult, but let's try that. The show kicked off with John Cena. Obviously, he played with the fans, he joked about WrestleMania when he lost against Bray Wyatt, and he says yes, he came to challenge Roman Reigns at SummerSlam. He says someone needs to protect WWE because SmackDown with Roman Reigns as champion absolutely sucks. Cena knows there are hundreds of Roman Reigns fans out there, somewhere. Dude, come on. Everyone loves Roman. Everybody loves Roman Reigns. I don't know where he got the idea that people don't like Roman Reigns right now. That promo worked 5 years ago, not right now. People love Roman Reigns. SummerSlam is going to be a match not just for the championship, it's a chance for all of us to stand up for what we believe in. It's either Team John Cena or Team Roman Reigns. Cena says Roman Reigns can't see him, and after SummerSlam, Reigns will realize that the champ is here. My man pulled a Hulk Hogan right here, all the cheesy catchphrases, but it worked. I mean, I like the promo, I like the challenge, and the biggest thing I liked about this promo is the term Team Cena versus Team Reigns. It kind of reminds me of Team Rock versus Team Cena, where, wrestling world was so divided. You are either a John Cena fan and you're under 8, or you're the Rock fan. So it's really, really interesting, and I like that idea. It makes the match a lot bigger, and it's not just for the championship, and I'm sure it's gonna happen. If you have any doubt that Finn Bálor is gonna be, challenging Roman Reigns instead of John Cena, you're out of your mind, or you're under 8. Then I can't blame you, but you get the point. We see Paul Heyman singing John Cena's theme song. That was beautiful. What a voice, what a delivery. I love Paul Heyman. John Cena versus Roman Reigns is enough, but we also have Paul Heyman. Dude, this is wrestling fans' wet dream. He says Roman Reigns can see John Cena, but he can't hear him because Cena simply isn't worth Reigns listening to. But Cena will get an answer from his challenge sometime tonight. And that's when actually he made fun of John Cena's theme song. Remember, the brain fog. So that was great. Obviously, WWE are saving the big promos because we have like 4 weeks until SummerSlam. So, I am a bit disappointed we're not getting Cena and Reigns in the same ring, but it all makes sense. We gotta save it, and the promos are going to be absolutely unbelievable. But right now, we have this storyline where basically John Cena is not even getting the match. It's just a challenge. It's not official yet. So a great way to kick off SmackDown, and like I've said, wrestling is just absolutely wild right now. John Cena is back. SummerSlam is looking amazing. Goldberg's back. Rumors about Daniel Bryan and CM Punk in AEW. Rumors about The Rock returning this year or next year. It's wild. It's absolutely wild. If you're a wrestling fan and you still don't appreciate what we're getting right now, if you're not excited at all, I think that just means you're not into wrestling anymore, because I honestly, like I've said many times, if it wasn't for me being a YouTuber and, making a living out of wrestling, I wouldn't be watching, because we got a lot of, years of wrestling just being absolute dog shit. So right now, if you're still, even in the slightest, not interested in wrestling, just take a break, man. Just take a break, because right now I think 90% of us are really happy with what we're getting. I'm not saying it's perfect, but it's definitely getting a lot better, or at least interesting. Then we saw Finn Bálor versus Sami Zayn because of what happened last week when, Finn Bálor attacked Sami Zayn when making his return. So this match was actually really fun. I'm sure it would be a lot better if both of them would be baby faces, because, well, Sami Zayn is still an amazing wrestler and his character is like 100% better as a heel. In the ring, he has some limitations because he's a heel. So I'm sure this would be absolutely spectacular. I'm pretty sure we've seen that match before. The point I'm trying to make is, it was still a great match. Loved it. And of course, it was obvious who's going to win that match. It was Finn Bálor. And, we were yet to see what Finn Bálor is all about. The only issue I have is that we're slowly getting back into the Finn Bálor that was on the main roster before, The Finn Bálor that did not feel like a main eventer, but on the positive note, he kinda has a more legit presence. He's not smiling as much. That is a big plus. He looked a lot more legit at the end of the show, I'll give you that. I just hope at one point after he's done with Reigns or whatever he's going to do as a babyface, in like a couple of months he's going to turn heel. I really hope that's the case, because he's so much better as a bad guy. Corbin says he didn't raise any money because he got scammed. He took a public bus. Poor Corbin, man. Poor Corbin. But like I've said many times, I love this gimmick. It's just the best Corbin we ever seen. Well, ever. Like I've said, ever. We never seen Corbin being this damn good. Mr. Money in the Bank Big E is in the ring, and he received "You Deserve It" chants. Absolutely does. Before he got anything significant to say, he got interrupted by Apollo Crews. Rude and Ziggler followed, Rick Boogs, Wyszynski, Nakamura, Cesaro, and we saw a big brawl. And of course, the babyfaces stand tall. So this was really interesting. While I do appreciate that they gave some exposure to the mid-card, it led to nothing. Like most of these lead to 6-man tag team matches, this one did not. I'm thankful for it, of course. But what was the point? I would rather just see Big E talking about his future plans. Whether he's going to choose Big E or Roman Reigns. And it's kind of weird that WWE didn't think Big E versus Bobby Lashley would be a big match, since we got this New Day storyline against Bobby Lashley. So I don't know what Big E is going to do at SummerSlam. Might just cash in. We'll see what happens. But I did not understand the point of this segment, this brawl, whatever. Okay, let's talk about this. So WWE were doing SmackDown in 2 cities. Obviously a regular SmackDown and at a music festival. So bad, man. This was so bad. I think we got piped in crowd reactions because, the sound of it was okay. Like they got some pop. Well, you're looking at the crowd, nobody gives a crap at all. And I know some of you will say, wow, these fans were horrible, they didn't react, how could you watch a show and not react at all, you're making it worse. That's not the point. These people came to see music, and you're showing them wrestling. Imagine going to a wrestling show and you have a lot of music. You're not gonna care. And for the most part, people do not care. When we have these celebrity guests, most of the fans don't appreciate them. So I don't think it was a problem. And the biggest issue I have with this, the only way to make people who are not wrestling fans kinda slightly interested in wrestling is to have big names or just a bunch of high flyers. Like, if you're not a wrestling fan, the only thing that will surprise you and entertain you when it comes to wrestling is a bunch of high flying stuff because it's impressive. People don't get the whole chain wrestling, whatever. The other way is to bring in popular people. John Cena. I'm sure people know who John Cena is and they're gonna be like, okay, I know this guy. I'm happy to see this man live. So, Bianca, Belair, Carmella, Chad Gable, and Angelo, Dawkins, not the wrestlers that people will definitely recognize. What I'm trying to say is the whole concept is bad, but the delivery was even worse. Angelo Dawkins versus Chad Gable was just one of the most random matches you could imagine. The atmosphere felt special, the match did not at all. Angelo Dawkins won, then we saw the SmackDown Women's title match, Carmella versus Bianca Belair. I mean, it's a title match, but Carmella, really? So again, people didn't care, and I can't really blame them, imagine yourself in their shoes. Bianca Belair retained the championship and that was about it. I think the perfect wrestler for this kind of event is Rey Mysterio, a very well-known name and also a high flyer. Owens is trying to help Shotzi with her tank. We see Corbin, he asks for money and forgiveness. He got like $40. He's happy, but the tank hit his cojones, his dingly dongly. They accidentally hit Corbin's Coco Jumbo. Ziggler and Roode stole his money, so, I guess his daughter is not gonna eat. That's unfortunate. We see Edge with a big pop, and he says Rollins has no idea what kind of beating he's going to receive because of what he did at Money in the Bank. And I like that, again, they mentioned 2014. He basically said he's ruthless, he's been in Ministry of Darkness, The Brood. Seth Rollins interrupts, says, wow, you're talking about the man you used to be. Edge says, come in, I'm not gonna hurt you. Seth Rollins says, yeah, I know, you're smarter than that. So we got some back and forth, and he's angry about all the people who come back and get the opportunities they don't deserve. Seth Rollins is acting like a real wrestling mark. He says he won't hesitate the next time he has his boot on the back of Edge's surgically repaired neck. And of course, Edge is just entertaining as hell. Remember when I said I wouldn't hurt you? I'm a liar. And he attacks Seth Rollins. We got a big brawl, but before we got the spear, Seth Rollins left the ring. So this storyline is great. I love this. And for the most part, I just appreciate the fact that they mentioned 2014. It has story, and Edge is back for his revenge. And it's not even that, Edge has a problem with Seth Rollins trying to kill him. And Seth Rollins has a problem with Edge taking the opportunity that he believes he deserved. So it's really cool. Both have, their reasons, and I'm sure the match is going to be just absolutely amazing. We saw Toni Storm versus Zelina Vega. This was Toni Storm's debut. Now, I like both women involved. Just this match kind of felt slow and sloppy. It wasn't bad. I just expected a bit more. I'm not quite sure what it was. It just did not feel special, but god damn! That booty smash! The whole camera moved. I flinched. And of course, Toni Storm wins the match. I think she's a great addition to the roster. People definitely love her. Then we saw Jimmy Uso versus Dominik Mysterio, which was pretty fun to watch. We saw an Eddie Guerrero tribute. The finish, unfortunately, was kind of botchy. The finish spot didn't work, so they kind of had to redo it, which didn't feel organic anymore. But it was what it was, and of course, we saw the same thing that happened at Money in the Bank, and Jimmy Uso won the match. But this was still a fun little match, and stuff like this happens. Both wrestlers are good, but like I've said, stuff happens. And of course, it's time for Roman Reigns to answer John Cena's challenge. And Reigns said, well, people acknowledged me, John Cena acknowledged me at Money in the Bank, but he basically doesn't want to face John Cena because John Cena is old news. Same music, same outfit, same jokes, same catchphrases. I googled John Cena 2005, I got the same thing. He didn't change at all. It's like doing missionary every day. I just love Roman, man. This show is made for me. That's the stuff I want to see. And he said Tribal Chief is not about that. He's not interested in that. He doesn't get motivated or inspired by that. Roman's wife says missionary. Roman says no. I don't get inspired by that. Acknowledge me with doggy. Cena is right. He can't see Cena. And doesn't want to see Cena. And doesn't need to see Cena. He has no desire to face Cena, and the answer is no. Finn Bálor interrupts and he says if it's not Cena, maybe me. The crowd goes nuts. People started chanting Roman scared. And you know, I'm glad they did because Roman Reigns said yes. Okay, I'm sure Cena is gonna have an issue with that. And you know, I would honestly love to see, right now, I think Finn Bálor should be saved for a later time because this is still a pretty big match for a pay-per-view, you know, Balor versus Reigns. I think right now we need to see Cena having a problem with this, and this turns into Cena versus Balor instead of Balor versus Reigns. Number 1 contenders match, main event of SmackDown, big match feel, Cena wins after a long match, and we get that match official. That's what I want to see, and I think that's a big possibility. But I wouldn't be surprised if we're getting, you know, Balor versus Reigns at a regular SmackDown, which is something I still don't have a problem with. But this needs to be a serious rivalry, in my opinion, and should happen at a pay-per-view. Whatever the case may be, I think all case scenarios are still pretty good, and I'm sure it's not gonna be Balor versus Reigns at SummerSlam. That's just impossible. So that was your Friday night SmackDown. Again, a great show, and it just keeps on improving in my opinion. And you know what I like about it the most is that I know next week is going to be good as well. That's a great feeling in wrestling. Like, I don't know if Raw is gonna be good, but lately, you know, you just have a great show, next show turns out to be boring or just not worth to have a conversation about. We know there's a lot of stuff to talk about. Just the fact that John Cena is going to be on almost every show, I think, that's already worth watching, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna get some big ass highlights. The card is already looking amazing. Lashley versus Goldberg, Cena versus Reigns, Rollins versus Edge, and that's not even the full match card. Again, thank you for your support. The channel is doing absolutely amazing lately. I'm happy that you guys enjoyed greatness of wrestling. It's gonna improve over time. It was just a test video. It was like 25 minutes long, but like I've said, the format is going to be, man, at least 30 minutes long. I needed it to be almost like a podcast, but I just focused on the biggest news. In the future, I'll talk about basically most of the stuff. Since I'm not doing AEW reviews, if Daniel Bryan happens to be in AEW, CM Punk, I guess I'll put that information, that short review, in Greatness of Wrestling. I think that makes sense. Thank you for watching the video, The Great One. Peace, love, and hugs. It's been a pleasure.